What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Mekhi back in the building. You feel me? Now, today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different today. I got a comment in one of my older videos that was basically saying that Larry Bird was the greatest player of all time. What?
What?
Bro, dog, you're tripping, dog. But look, all due respect, Larry Bird is a great player. Larry Bird is a great, well, he was a, well, not is a great player because he's not playing no more, but he was a great player. He put up insane numbers. He won rings. He contributed to that Lakers and Celtics dynasty. But I'm telling you right now, there's so many players, in my opinion, that is better than Larry Bird. He's not even the best in his position. Now, is he top three? No. Actually, no. Because you got so many players, in my opinion, that is a better player than Larry Bird. Better player than Larry Bird. I'm gonna remind you that. Better player. You got LeBron, obviously. Like that cracks number one. In my opinion, Scottie Pippen was a better small forward than Larry Bird. Actually, you know what? No. I take that back. But LeBron James, you got Paul George, you got Kevin Durant. That's all I can think of on the top of my head. Now, we're going to Scap Attack. I believe that's his YouTube channel name. Yep, Scap Attack. This was recommended in my comment section from a dude a while back. He told me to watch him, and I told him that he was a little biased between LeBron because, well, biased against LeBron. Like, he was a LeBron hater. Like, his first view videos, or the videos where he was getting views for real, it was against LeBron, and you know that just kind of just steered the narrative of his channel. But he has a video talking about Larry Bird, so we about to look at Larry Legend. And without further ado, let's get to it.
Larry Bird is fast becoming one of the most divisive characters in basketball history, with some recognizing Bird as the greatest player of all time, while some have him dropping out of the top 10 altogether. This coming in recent years amid the rise of this current crop of NBA talent, coupled with the mounting narratives of the physical inferiority of other eras.
Oh, well, you know, he was being guarded by plumbers and firemen.
And Larry Bird presents a major dilemma, which is on the rise as of late across the board in all of the major sports.
Before we start this video, I think y'all need to stop this whole narrative about the plumbers and firemen and all that stuff. That's, first of all, plumbers and firemen, that was during Wilt Chamberlain days. Like, those are during those days when the film was black and white. It was the Bill Russell days. Those were the real plumbers and firemen, because they had to, get another part-time job because the NBA wasn't paying them that much at that time. So as time progressed, they started getting paid more money. The Magic Johnson and the Larry Birds and the who else? Daryl Dawkins and those people in them days, they were getting paid enough, bro. Especially in the 80s, bro. Because I think that's probably where he's finna steer, is probably 70s and 80s, kind of. Pretty much the 80s. He's probably gonna steer off mostly into the 80s, because Jordan was playing. And all these players, Dominique Wilkins and all these 90s guys were playing, but they were still losing to the Lakers and the Celtics. So, at that time, bro, there was no plumbers and firemen and electricians and stuff. I'm sick and tired of y'all saying that, bro. Stop that, bro.
How do you weigh different eras? How can you cross-compare different players?
That's when they
might have existed decades apart.
It's the 80s.
Played against varying levels of competition in starkly contrasting league-wide environments.
R.I.P.
How can you factor in elongated time of play and peak performance
Vince Carter was a problem
amid technical advancements in nutrition, supplementation, training philosophies, and implementation? Fundamentally, the answer is complex.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But one element of comparison is easy. How dominant were you in your own
In your
time?
era,
How
yeah.
much did you excel against the competition within your own era? And how feared were you? And Larry Bird has one of the shorter careers of any all-time great in NBA history.
That is true.
As he was drafted
But
with
he
the number
was
6 overall pick
at his
in the
time.
1978 draft by the
I've heard
Boston
stories.
Celtics at the age of 22. But Bird opted to return to Indiana State for his senior year in college and forego entry into the NBA until the following 1979 season at the age of 23. And on November 15th, 1988, just 6 games into the season, Bird would be diagnosed with debilitating bone spurs on both Achilles that would require immediate season-ending surgery. And at the age of 32, Bird would miss that entire season and postseason, leaving many to speculate that Bird's career was over. And years
I didn't know
later,
this
Larry
about Larry Bird's
himself
career.
admitted he should have retired following the Achilles surgeries. However, the next season, at the age of 33, Bird returned and played 75 of a possible 82 games while averaging 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists per game in 39 minutes a night.
Well, both his
Load management
bones.
be damned. But the decline would set in sharply, and Bird's reluctance to miss games or sit out nights throughout his career, coupled with his intensely physical style of play, took its toll. In all, during his final 4 seasons, Bird missed 142 of a possible 328 games, and that was after missing only 27 total games over his first 9 years in the NBA. Due to the sharp fall-off amid a body that quickly failed him, Larry Bird played a total of only 897 regular season games and 164 playoff games throughout his entire NBA career. Compare that to the self-proclaimed GOAT, who many believe has surpassed Larry Legend in recent years as the greatest
a long
small
time ago.
forward
I'm not even
in
gonna lie.
NBA history.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
LeBron James. James has played to date in 1,703 combined regular season and playoff games, nearly 700 more total games than Larry Bird played, and LeBron is moving on to season number 21 and counting. It is conceivable that James will end up playing in twice the amount of games as Larry Bird. It's no wonder
Well,
James
LeBron,
and
man,
other
he's
all-time
way more
great
durable.
players dwarf Bird's
Larry Bird, he
statistical
played in the era.
accumulation
That
with the
you
relative
also got to talk about
limited
eras.
career Bird
That was a very
had
physical
in
era.
terms of time played. But in understanding the context of his career from a peak standpoint,
Look at the blood.
and factoring in the NBA built around him at the time, Bird produced arguably one of, if not the best primes ever. Coming into the league the same season as Earvin Magic Johnson in 1979, it would be Bird that won Rookie of the Year that season, while also being named to first team All-NBA and making the NBA All-Star team in just
Hey, Larry Bird had a
season.
stacked team
And from
too.
that 1979
Larry Bird, like,
season,
people
Bird
talk
would be
about,
named
you know, Magic
first team
Johnson
All-NBA
having a stacked
for the
team.
first
That Celtics
9
team was stacked.
seasons of his career.
Had a
While the
bunch of Hall of
Celtics
Famers on that
would
team.
make 8 conference finals over those 9 seasons. And this Eastern Conference was a far cry from that of the Chosen Ones era that he feasted on, which was one of the historically weakest conferences ever. But the Eastern Conference of the 1980s was the power conference. This decade saw one of the greatest teams in NBA history in that conference, the 1983 Moses Malone and Julius Erving-led Philadelphia 76ers. It had the
Julius
Bad
Erving's
Boys
always looked old
Pistons,
to me.
the Dominique Wilkins Atlanta Hawks, a perennial 50-win Milwaukee Bucks team, and Michael Jordan. There were no easy series in the Eastern Conference playoffs during the decade of the 1980s. Yet Larry Bird found his way to 5 NBA Finals over the first
swept the
9
Bulls.
years of his career. And
They swept the Bulls,
for
even with Michael
through
Jordan.
the gauntlet of those stacked Eastern Conference playoff fields was meeting one of the greatest teams ever assembled in the NBA Finals from the Western Conference. The Celtics and Larry Bird had the misfortune of running up against the LA Lakers in 3 NBA Finals, led by arguably 2 top 5 players ever, Magic Johnson
you already know.
and Abdul-Jabbar. A team that also had top 50 all-time player and perennial all-star James Worthy as a third option. Yeah, Bird lost to that team twice in the NBA Finals for his only 2 Finals losses. But he also beat that team in the NBA Finals for 1 of his 3 Finals wins. Oh, and also beat the Hakeem Olajuwon Rockets in another NBA Finals. The accumulated number of elite, high-end opponents Bird faced throughout his 9-year run puts him in the running of having acquired some of the most difficult rings in league history. But this should come as no surprise, since Larry Bird was one of the most high-leverage winners the sport of basketball has ever seen, as the Celtics were just 32-50 and 29-53 the 2 seasons prior to Bird's arrival. But in just his first season in the NBA,
so he came in and just shook things up, didn't he?
Elevated the Celtics from 29 wins to 61 and took Boston all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. And over the 9-year run until his dual Achilles surgery practically ended his career, the Celtics won an average of 61 games a year and never won fewer than 57. During that 9-year prime, beginning in his rookie season at the age of 23 and running until his double Achilles surgery at 32, Bird averaged 25 points.
These highlights is crazy. They're like Bird,
6 assists, and 2 steals per
wow.
game, while shooting
Bird
50%
like that.
38% from the three-point line and 88%
Look at these 3-point percentages.
Throw strike.
Look at that.
During that 9-season run,
Larry Bird low-key was like that,
top
man.
5 in MVP all 9 seasons, with an absurd 4 second-place finishes during that time and 3 first-place finishes. His 4 runner-ups were to Moses Malone twice, Julius Erving, and Michael Jordan. His 3 league MVPs were won consecutively over the span of 1984 to 1986, and done in a league that had Magic Johnson.
Actually, I got a question for y'all. because this video's almost over. But I have a question for y'all. So, I think it was Dennis Rodman, he said that if Larry Bird was black, he would be just an average NBA player. Let me know in the comment section, do y'all agree with that? Do you think that Larry Bird would be an average player if he was black? Let me know.
Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, Julius Erving, Dominique Wilkins, Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Michael Jordan. In the 1980s era, an era defined by arguably the greatest collection of high-end historical NBA talent, the case that Larry Bird was the greatest player of them all during that decade is an easy one to make. So while players
was he the greatest player in the 80s?
Longer than him, might have stacked more stats than him, what if the question was how dominant were you in your own time? How much did you excel against the competition within your own era? And how feared were you as a player? Under those parameters of evaluation, it is clear that Larry Bird still stands on an island with very few guys who have ever played in any era.
My thing about it is, who was the great? Larry Bird was the greatest player in the 80s? Really? Larry Bird was the greatest player in the 80s. So you got that over who? I forgot what players he said, but I heard Magic Johnson, I heard Dominique Wilkins, which I honestly don't know why Dominique Wilkins is ranked. I really don't. What has he won? Other than a slam dunk competition against Michael Jordan, which he shouldn't have actually won. He actually should have lost that. What has he won? You see what I'm saying? So he said Magic Johnson, Dominique Wilkins, Charles Barkley. Okay, Charles Barkley. Michael Jordan. And he was better than all those players at that time. Because we're talking about, well, these players just came in the league, so that probably would make sense as to why they'll say that about Larry Bird, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man. Other than that, man, it's been Mekhi. It's been real. Until next time.